talking about. Of course, I will get to your questions today as well. But before we start and read the articles, I will show the sponsors. So the sponsors are, drumroll, myself. I'm my own sponsor, okay? So the first sponsor is my first book that I wrote, A Guide to Almost Foolproof Investing. So if you're new to investing, if you're just starting out, you don't know how to build a portfolio, you don't even know what a portfolio is, what is an ETF, how to use it, how to utilize the extra money you save every month, this book is for you. And if you come to the end of my book here, you will see an introduction to sector rotation. Not really an introduction, I will just kind of get into it, but I will not explain it because I thought it's too much for someone who's just starting out. But if you're interested in more, you can read my second book that I released this summer, Awakening. So not only am I talking about what is going on right now in the economy, how we are at the end of the long-term debt cycle, what that even means, and sector rotation, you can learn all here. And you will also learn why empires fall and why capitalism, what is Marxism, how does it destroy Western society from within. And you will learn lots about economics, values, you will learn about your own values, and I even go into some religion at the end here with some really nice illustrations and original artworks as well. Like this one. You see? So yeah, check it out. And lastly, we have, of course, my newsletter. So I have a private Discord server where I post my newsletter every day, daily, 5 times a week. So every day during the week when the markets are open, so you can read about my take on the market, geopolitics, what is going on, what I'm expecting to be going on. And my videos on TikTok are basically just little pieces, little paragraphs that I take from my newsletter anyways. So please check that out as well. It's a whole week free trial. There's a sector rotation guide there. You can join for free. There's really no argument against that. And you can just cancel anytime. So yeah, check it out. So those are the sponsors. Let's see. We got 6 people on right now, but I saw there were some questions. Thank you for the likes. Someone is saying hello. Check my 18 bio. Okay, I guess that's some scammer account. Anyway, so let's just get into it. So I'm not gonna wait for more people. I'm just gonna start. Okay, so I'm not going to show the articles here. It's a bit it's just super annoying to do so on during the live show. So our first article is from MSN.com. Lebanon holds its breath as Hezbollah leader prepare to make long-awaited speech. So, I'm just gonna read the first paragraph here, okay? So, in a style reminiscent of a film trailer, a 10-second video released on Thursday showed Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah strolling past a poster featuring his party's emblem, a yellow flag and an assault rifle, accompanied by suspenseful background music. So, Hezbollah, in case you don't know what Hezbollah is, in case you're Patrick and you live under a rock and you don't know what has been going on in the Middle East, Hezbollah is a Shiite Muslim militia paramilitary group and a party in Lebanon. Okay, and they really, really don't like Israel. Okay, so these guys made a trailer. They made a whole trailer, showcasing the upcoming speech of their leader. So when I saw that, when I was reading that, so it's over, it was on Thursday, I was expecting, oh shit, they're going to declare war. So just to catch you up on the events a little bit. So last week, I talked about what is happening. What was happening in Israel was still fresh. So I thought, okay, look, it seems like they're not doing anything, or they might be waiting for they're called A-22 anti-air rocket systems from Russia before they would do anything. When you play a RTS game, you don't just make a unit and then send it to the enemy. You kind of try to use the fog of war, stay hidden, gather your army, and then just send all of them all at once. So I thought something like that might be happening. They might be waiting for these anti-air systems to be sure, and then they might announce and officially declare war on Israel. But they didn't. The speech came and left, and that's and they didn't do anything. Nothing. Zero. So basically I don't have much to say. So the entire look, this was the first time in history after the Ottoman Empire fell that the entire Muslim world was united against a common enemy. And they were talking so much about how much they would do. Even Turkey was threatening war. So Israel cannot exist without the US. And the best analogy I have to all this is a bully, a big bully that just beats up kids in school. Okay, so the bully is too big and too strong to be taken on alone by those kids. And then you have these little kids, like China, Russia, Iran, all these guys, and only together. Now it seemed like, they're going to be gathering together. I already said those 50 ships I heard and 2 aircraft carriers are a giant bluff. The US is not in a position to fight yet another war, especially not after losing a war right now. We're going to go into that a little later. And they're economically bankrupt. They don't have the money. They don't have the people. They don't have the men. And they don't have the power to fight another war. And this was a big bluff. We're gonna show our strength. And the bully blinked for a split second. The bully in the playground, in school, realized for a split second, oh shit, if they all gang up on me, I'm kinda effed. And this was their chance. They were talking so much, they were writing all these checks with their mouth, but their asses couldn't cash them. And now, speech came and went. They're not doing anything. I thought you have these missiles that can sink your ships, that can sink ships. Where? I thought you have this army of 140,000 soldiers. Nothing. And Turkey, I'm going to, what did the Erdogan say? I'm going to complain to the UN about the humanitarian crisis in Israel. Complain to the US? Yeah, they're just a bunch of pussies that don't do anything. So it was up and down. So at first I thought, whoa, like last week, right? We talked about it. I thought, whoa, if this escalates, Jesus, we're in trouble. Things are happening. And then I thought, no, they're just cocking. They're all cocks. They just get cocked. They're pussies, a bunch of pussies. And then I read on Wednesday, I wrote about it on my newsletter. You guys know that, maybe the A-22 anti-air missiles are coming. That's what they're waiting for. Because Syria got bombed, right? Like, what did Syria do? The international airport got bombed. I was just like, whoa, guys, what the hell? So I thought maybe they're waiting for these anti-air systems. So before they, launch the final Kamehameha, the final attack. And then the speech came, was like, oh no, oh my God, damn, the Hezbollah is going to declare war. No. All they said in the speech was, don't even listen to it, it's useless. One point he made is like, oh, if this continues to escalate, we will interfere. Yeah, just keep putting forward the goalpost. All red lines have been crossed. What are you doing? Absolutely fucking nothing. Okay, so if they don't do anything, if everyone is just cucking, and America doesn't actually want a war with Iran, so I don't think they're going to, shoot, attack the oil fields there and and sanction. What are they gonna do? Sanction Iran more? I don't think so. So yeah, big disappointment, and yeah. So let me just go over some questions that you guys wrote. You wrote lots of questions, and then we're gonna move on to the next article. All right. So I see Media Man is here. I love USA. Welcome, Media Man. All right, let's go back to the first message I see, okay? Okay, here. So the first message from Tolgeberg. Your books are amazing, especially the last chapter of Awakening. Thank you for reading my book. Thank you for shilling. And yeah, that makes me super happy. My third book is actually coming. I'm writing it right now. It's still in the early stages. It's probably one of the biggest projects I've been working on. It's gonna take until at least the summer next year to complete. I also don't try to rush it, but it's gonna take a while to finish it. It's going to be a novel, actually. It's going to be a novel where I try to explain concepts. I try to explain these concepts in my book, Awakening. Kind of like, like I don't like to write a lot of words and jargon just so you have to read. I just like to get to the point. Get you the information, explain to you how I got there, and then, that's it. I hate, oh God, I hate reading because of this fact. Like, that's why I don't read many books unless they really, really interest me. Because I just don't want to read through this jargon, right? But I'm trying to combine my knowledge about politics, economics, and everything, and I wrapped it up into a very unique and original novel. It's going to be really, really cool. It's already really cool. I read over it again and again. It's already really cool. So stay tuned. Then we got Timothy Chang saying, innocent lives on both sides are more important, or history or human egoistic. Okay, I'm not sure if you are making a statement or if you're asking me a question. So innocent lives on both sides are more important than what? Or history or human ego? I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're asking me, or if you're just making a general statement. King of the Black People says Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Do you support Israel? Tommy Stark. So, so I have to be honest here, okay? I try not to say too much since I'm on TikTok, and I'm going to post this on YouTube where you can't talk about anything, which is also the reason why I tell you guys to join my private Discord, where we can talk freely about this stuff. So I don't support anyone. I personally couldn't give less of a shit about Israel or Palestine. What pisses me off is that the entire world is being dragged into this conflict that has nothing to do with my life. Okay? And that's like, I'm from Germany, Europe. So when Israel displaces the Palestinians, which they're doing right now, no one does anything. You heard about that they, just displaced them to the desert, the Sinai desert or Egypt. No, they're going to be put on ships, on boats, and they're going to be sent to Europe. What is What is Lapdog Germany gonna do? What are a million or two, how many people live there? 2 million. What is 2 million more refugees for Europe? For Germany? Yes, America. Everything you say, America. Yes. That's what Germany's gonna do. Okay. So that's how far this conflict affects me. Okay, and I'm not taking sides. All right. So actually, I have a solution. Why don't you give them both nukes? Israel already have nukes. Give the other side nukes too, so they can just nuke each other, and then we're done with this. You can just turn this whole area into a empty Walmart parking lot, and we can finally move on about this bullshit. Okay, so that's how far what I'm. That's who I'm supporting. I'm just looking at the situation. It's very subjective. There's some objective truths though. There's some objective things that are correct on both sides. Probably more on Israel's side, because they had many wars and Israel won. You know, if there's one thing that you can learn from history is don't lose wars. Don't lose wars. The winners write history, and the losers of wars, you kind of have to yield to the ones with power. And if you refuse that, and you're lucky in a time where, you know, we have international law, and you know, things that happened in the Second World War are not cool anymore. So we want to avoid that at any cost. You know, so it starts with Geno, and ends with side. That's not cool. So they try to not do that for this many years, and all they did is just cause more suffering. Media man, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gibs. Thank you for the gibs. All right. So that's one thing you guys have to understand. There is no way this will work out well for Israel. Okay, so now Israel cannot survive without the U.S. Sure, you know, they might drive out the Palestinians now into the desert. Sure, they might take over the land, sell that to gas companies. Yeah, perfect. They take it over and they just and then side these people and displace them and scatter them to Europe and Egypt and wherever. But that destroys the legitimacy of their own country, right? So once this is over, in the long run, their country was created because of genocide. Their country was created because of that. But now they did that same thing. You know, even using, they call it sponge bombs. I'm not shitting you, sponge bombs, and they're using gas to fight these terror inquisitions in Palestine, and so what moral argument do they have for their state to not be genoed? You know, they don't have any. And if the bluff just blows up into their face, it doesn't look like it will, but you know, if Iran, you know, backed by Russia, Hezbollah all at once attack Israel right now, there's nothing the US can do, not even with 50 ships. So see, like, there's no scenario that I see in the long run where Israel, you know, can survive surrounded by enemies that hate them. Okay, so I'm not taking sides, I'm just telling you what is. All right, Jesus is the Messiah. Okay, Jesus is Lord. Alleluia. Media man, yep. Jesus is the boss. Oh, hallelujah. It is the King of Kings. Are you talking about Hamas? Yes. Hamas massacring innocent people? Yes, I am. Yes, and they are. Yeah, which is really bad. With Bully, he's clearly talking about the US. Yes, I love US. Media man says, thank you for the Gibbs. Thank you for the Gibbs, bro. Thank you for the Gibbs. Thank you for the gaps. When you say US is broke, aren't the bondholders the ones that will be impacted by default? Well, if they default at all, well, they said themselves, Janet Yellen said that they will default rather, they would rather default than not increasing the debt. And they're not gonna do both. What they're gonna do is they're not gonna default and then just say, like they could do that. They could say to the bondholders, oh, sorry guys, but that wouldn't be enough. There wouldn't be enough. They have to say, oops, sorry guys, to Social Security, Medicare, all welfare basically has to be cut. Like this piling up debt. This month alone, last month, was $600 billion. Funding all these wars, like that's not gonna end just by defaulting on and just telling your bondholders to go and F themselves. Maybe if they implement CBDC, maybe they could just say, oops, there was a cyber attack, blah, blah. Oh, I don't want to spoil the next article. You know, they could say something like that, but that wouldn't be enough. They're completely broke, and no one wants to hold their bonds anyways. Nobody wants to hold bonds from a country that is $30 billion in deficit. They just have to because there's no alternative at the moment. And the US is actively destroying every alternative as the best way they can. And it seems like they're succeeding with it, at least in the Middle East. So the US being unable to pay the bondholders means that they are broke by definition. Media man, yes. Did you know the price of Bitcoin up 100% from start of the year? Okay, good, cool. I hope you bought and you are up 100% as well. Joachim Metalman, hello, hey, how are you? Okay, so Israel forward the Western values and way of life in the Middle East, pretty much. Sucks for Arabs, but great for Westerners. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's it with the questions. Let's continue with the next article. Okay, let's see. So the next article is from Politico. And it says, US officials hold their breath for Iranian cyber attack. Okay. Critical infrastructure owners and operators are stepping up security as the US government keeps a close eye on evolving threats from Tehran in the cyberspace. Cyber attacks, huh? You mean like the ones that you did on Iran during the Obama administration to destroy the centrifugals? Oh, also, why talk about cyber attacks now? Could it have something to do with, using the banks and hedge funds as puppets, with the puppeteer behind them being the government, naked shorting commodity markets? Could that be it? So last week, I think I posted a video about people from the industry, how they talk about naked shorting natural gas. So they're using the big banks, the too big to fail banks, right? Yeah. To naked short natural gas. So when natural gas goes to $3.8, $4, then they will get margin called and jeopardize the entire financial system. So I since over a year, something has to break the markets. Something has to happen that breaks the market. Okay. So, this entire week, right? Like all these like Hamas and Hezbollah and not declaring war, everyone just cocking and pussing out. If they wouldn't have done that, we would have seen an embargo in the West, which was last time we had an embargo in the 70s, I think, was also because of Israel. That would have broken the market. It would have broken the market. Oil would go to 150, probably, maybe more. Yeah, and they couldn't hold. So you see, as they print money, the US dollar loses value, and the shorted commodity value holds its value. So they need more and more money, more and more print money. Yields, bond yields have to go up and up and up. More debt has to be piled on to keep this charade up. But when something like an embargo happens, which is why the US is there, as a bluff, then they're completely effed. That would have broken the markets, but they didn't. See, this is like, we're just coming back to my, what I talked about last week. Like I never claimed that I can predict anything. All right, I can't. So like, look, single molecules, okay, in physics, right, are very difficult to predict, right? Especially when you go down to the electron, you go into the quantum realm, things are so small that you have to work with probabilities, right? So electrons can be in a superposition, and only when you measure it, you know where they were when you measured it. Okay, so there's a cloud of probabilities the smaller you go. So single molecules, if you go to molecule level, just a bit bigger, are very difficult to predict. However, multiple molecules are actually so predictable that we can build airplanes that fly in the air. We can build rockets. We can make engines. We can make ballistic missiles that can aim. That's how predictable molecules in numbers are. Same with people. An individual crazy guy is very difficult to predict. Some schizophrenic or some geriatric boomer who talks about chocolate chip ice cream, very difficult to predict, right? However, people in numbers are very easy to predict. Okay, so when it comes to economics, I'm spot on. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to economics. Oh, but natural gas went down, so what did you tell people to go into commodities? Because that's where you want to be during stagflation. However, I can't predict geopolitics. I can't predict what Putin is going to do next week. I can't predict when Hamas is going to attack Israel, if an embargo comes or not. All I can do is try to put everything together, like on a chessboard, like I said last week, and hope that each person or each moving part is acting based on their self-interest. And then kind of guess where things are going, which general directions things are going. However, sometimes people do not act in their own self-interest. Most of the time, people actually don't act in their self-interest, especially when emotions come into place, like existential threat of your country or war. People in geopolitics, politicians, groups of people even, to a larger scale, might act in ways that I cannot foresee. But I know this is too, so there's a small minority of you guys that always comment in my comment section, very, very small minority. I know you can't comprehend that. So what I can tell you is close your device, unfollow, and watch, I don't know, Mr. Beast or something. That's more up to speed with your capabilities. Okay? So, Goldi, you always talk about commodity manipulation, because that's what is happening right now. They are blatantly manipulating commodities, and they have an incentive to do so. Look at for over a year they're doing this. For a year I'm talking about this. What is going on? They're doing this, and they keep so. In 2020, okay, inflation skyrocketed. 2022. Sorry, inflation skyrocketed. Why? Because Biden's advisors are Keynesians. They actually believed that increasing the money supply does not cause inflation. Printing money does not cause inflation. MMT, right? Modern monetary policy. And oh shit, when it causes inflation, they trick the numbers. They scroll down. They change the figures. Like commodity manipulation, especially energy, like oil and natural gas, because those are counted towards inflation. And actually, if you look, I made a video about this last month. If you look at the how they measure the inflation, the basket, you see that everything is up above 6%. Like close to 9, 10%. Go to the grocery store. Food prices doubled from over a year ago. Doubled. Oh, but you have 3% inflation. Yeah, you know what energy in the basket is like minus 24%, pulling down everything else, putting it to 3%. Oh, look at the number. And it's because of base effects. So inflation is not actually going down. I don't know if you hear this for the first time, but inflation is not actually going down. Inflation is just constantly going up. And there's nothing the Fed can do to prevent this. Because the Fed did not cause the inflation problem. The Fed did not cause the inflation problem. This is a problem that is political. And it needs a political solution. You cannot solve a political problem using financial instruments like the Fed. You can't. Okay? So inflation is also not just inflation. Let me tell you the difference. When the Fed causes inflation through QE, like in 2008, that increases asset prices. So you see the stock market going up. You see housing prices going up. But who owns these assets? Where does this money flow to? It flows to rich people. Poor people don't own assets. They don't. Rich people do. So their assets go up in value. And that causes inflation in assets. But the general inflation we are experiencing right now is not caused by the Fed increasing QE. It is caused by printing money and giving it out to poor people. Sorry to hurt your feelings, but stimmy checks, letting people live rent-free in their homes, and giving money to people who do not own assets and just spend it on NFTs, Bitcoin, and useless tokens that don't do anything is causing the general inflation to go up. So this is a political problem that the Fed cannot solve increasing rates. If you have just simple math, if you have inflation of 5%, no, let's say you have inflation right now, just go on my Discord server, private server, you can see the numbers. Inflation at 9%, 10%, but your rates are 5%, what is that gonna do? It still makes more sense to spend over saving money. Okay? Yeah, because you're still negative 4%, negative 5%. Why would you save money? You're gonna spend it. So increasing rates doesn't do anything. Anyway, so they're printing money, they're manipulating commodities, and now they're suddenly talking about cyber attacks. So why? You know why? Because if inevitably they will reach the point where they get margin called and the market breaks, is it an embargo? Again, I don't know. Could be an embargo, could be World War III, could be maybe Hezbollah does attack. I don't know. Something will happen to break the market, and then they're going to be like, oh shit. We're actually jeopardizing our financial system right now. What they're going to do is they're just going to shut down the market. Beep. Like things are just going out of control. Oh shit, everything is turning right. Beep. Oops, sorry guys. Oopsie doops. Cyber attack. There was a cyber attack on the Comox. There was a cyber attack. Sorry guys. You can blame Iran and Russia for that. And your money's gone. Unfortunately, there's no safe havens at the moment. So during stagflation, I talk about it in my book, Awakening. You want to be in commodities. You want to hold real assets, right? But they're manipulated down. The stock market is going to probably crash sometime soon. And real estate is ass with increasing rates. Real estate is an ass investment. The good time for real estate was like after the bubble, 2008 and before. And yeah, there's no safe haven. All you can do right now is cash. Maybe put your money in a money market account and get 4 or 5% interest. That's what I'm doing. And wait for things to change, subject to change, of course. And if the market crashes, you know, wait until there's blood in the street and scoop in at the very bottom. You can do that too, but there's no way to tell when this will happen, especially now. Like, you have a crash first, or you have a recession first, and then you have stimulus, but they already had the stimulus. We should be in a recession right now, right? I know, you guys are, oh, it's not going to be a recession, Goldi. It's going to be a recession. And I told you, no, for an entire goddamn year, over a year, I'm telling you, it's going to be a recession. But you didn't believe me. We didn't have a recession. However, we should be. With the banks collapsing, after Silicon Valley Bank collapsing, we should be in a recession, possibly a depression, stagflationary depression, recession, I might add. But we're not. They bailed out all the banks. They printed a bunch of money. The stimulus already came. So where's this recession going to come from? I don't know. Maybe they let Trump win. Like, there was never a recession under a Democrat. So maybe they let Trump win, facilitate a recession, depression, and then they can blame him on the inflation and everything. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. Again, single molecules are very difficult to predict, right? Maybe they're not. Maybe Biden is Mr. Magooing everything. And yeah. Anyway, so this was the cyber tech article. So let's go over some of your questions before we move on to the next article. Okay, hang on. By the way, thank you very much, guys. Especially Media Man. You are on my Discord server sending me gifts. Like, without your support, I really couldn't do this, Like, I'm not making shit on this channel. I have a handful of people who are on my Discord server. I need a lot more to make this a bigger production and do this full time. But yeah, thank you anyways, though, for all your help and your support. Very, very, very much appreciated by me. Okay, so so unknown ice cream good. Yeah. So Media Man says Israel forward the Western values. Okay, we went over this. Mahmoud says, I'm here. Hey, how are you, man? Interest rates are already starting to drop. Like, they paused, they increased, right? Look again, just like I said, right? Like, it doesn't matter. They're gonna pause, maybe one more hike. It doesn't matter. The outcome is the same. 100% agree. The Fed could solve it. It was truly independent. It wouldn't have done QE in the first place. Yes, it's not. It's if you go to the Fed's website, it's .gov. .gov. Thank you for the what is that? A cupcake? Oh no, it's a heart. Thank you for the gift. Yeah. So the Fed's not independent. It's just another branch of the government. So they can blame anyone else but themselves, right? It's .gov. The Fed website is .gov, so that already tells you everything. So Jan Sprücken, I'm guessing you're German. Jan Sprünken says, how about the energy market? What about it? I just went over it. You have to be more specific. Mahmoud says, mortgage rates started to drop in US. Yes, they did? Okay, maybe. I don't know. I'm not following real estate. But real estate is going to crash, though. I just don't know when. I thought it's going to crash this year. In the spring, but it didn't. But it's gonna crash. Interest rates, especially if they hold at this level, people are just gonna say, you know what? They might wait still for the Fed to cut rates. But if they don't, people not going to eat the additional cost. They're just going to sell. So you also have a shrinking population, right? So you're going to have a surplus demand in housing and yeah. Anyways, 7-Foot Daddy says, in Canada, 95% of people got notification to pay 100% of stimmy checks back. It was a loan, not free. Oh, okay. I see. So like that reminds me of the trick with the banks, right? So just because it's a loan, it doesn't increase the money supply. But even if the money is already given to people, and they have to generate it with the increased money supply, and they give it back to the government is just going to spend it again on the economy. They're not going to burn the money and lower the money supply. See, this is Keynesian economics. So like, the stimmy checks for Silicon Valley Bank and all the too big to fail banks, they were loans. So it doesn't count towards M2, which is why M2 is shrinking, by the way. Because it's a loan, right? No, it's not a loan. It's just printing money with extra steps. Okay, they pay back the money. Like you increase the money supply already. Now they pay that back to the government. And what's the government going to do with it? Spend it again? Like it's going to stay permanent in the economy. It's not going to solve the inflation problem. Thank you. Thank you. How crash? There is no inventing. There's no inventing. There's no inventory. Yeah. I don't know, but look, the economy, like not the economy, like the economy is also not good, but the stock market is it's a giant bubble. Now, like probably the AI bubble was like the last hooray. And that's it, with increased rates, slowed down spending, just ass tech sector, which is the biggest sector in the US, like, something is going to happen. I don't know. Again, I don't know how. My guess is they might let a Republican win maybe and then crash the market. Or some black swan event might crash the market, but it's going to happen. I just don't know when. I don't know. I don't know when, but it's going to happen fast. I'm referring to the oil price, 100 USD this year. I don't know. Again, look, I can't predict the price. Look, with everything that is happening in the Middle East, oil is just at 84 the last time I checked. Yeah. Until the summer, Saudi Arabia needed $81 oil to just break even. Now it's $90 oil to break even. There was some reason about it. I was reading about it recently. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, man. So if an embargo happens, but it's probably not, because everyone's pussy. Everyone's a pussy. They're just pussying out. Iran, Hezbollah, blah, blah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Don't cross that red line. Yeah. Shut up. You're not going to do shit. And now they're just, that's it. So no embargo. Like this was her chance. The ant boss was on their knees. Their weak point was glowing red for you to strike. And you just sit there and smoked hookah. So if they're not going to do anything in the next 2-3 weeks, oil is going to stay below 100, possibly below 100 for sure this year. So don't expect too much. 30% decrease is not a crash. When did I say 30%? Depends on the Israel thing, nothing else. Yeah, I wouldn't say nothing else, there's a bunch of things that could happen, right? Iran could get attacked. The Strait of Hormuz could be blocked. There could be an exceptionally cold winter, and people might find out, oh shit, we actually don't have all that energy, right? 7-Foot Daddy says, oh, I'm sure I didn't help them to their Czech dollar back. Just put poor people behind the 8 ball. Yeah, again, exactly. No, it doesn't help poor people, right? You can't just give people money. It doesn't help. I know you have good intentions. You know, you might think, oh, help the poor guy, but that's not how anything works, unfortunately. Mark says nothing will crash. Expectations will grow into the prices. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what your timeline is. Nothing will never crash. I don't know. Anyways, so that's it. That was the last question. Either things will crash with hyperinflation or both. Yeah. So let's get to our last article. And our last article, the cherry on the top of this disappointment Sunday, is from Reuters. So Reuters says Israel gives nod to Gaza marine gas development, wants security assurance. Okay, so this is a bit older, but there was articles I read that are a bit newer. So basically, Israel is giving permission, approval, for the development of gas fields off the Gaza Strip. Okay. So there you go, guys. Basically confirmed. They're going to send the Palestinians into the desert and scatter them to put them on boats and into Europe. And they're already selling off gas fields off the shore of Gaza. So yeah. So again, Iran, Russia, Hezbollah, Syria. What are you gonna do? The world that's waving the Palestinian flag. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Exactly. Why did you even talk so much shit? Why are you writing checks with your mouth that your ass can't cash? Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. At this point, you can just are you really you do know, right? They were whining and dining Assad, BRICS. BRICS stole OPEC from the US. All right, let's not forget that. This summer, all right, OPEC countries, 20-30% of world production, joining BRICS. You do know Russia and China, you not backing your allies in the Middle East right now, there is not going to be any support from you. That means all your efforts for BRICS are in the toilet. You do know that, right? You do know why. We talked about the article, to just go back to the article before, Hezbollah's trailer, and why they didn't declare war yet. It's because of Russia. Russia is not having their back. If Russia would have their back, they would be confident, they would probably have declared war already on Israel. But they didn't. Russia was like, nah, niet. I'm just gonna write on Twitter, on the internet, how pissed I am. So all your efforts are gone. Again, this was your chance. This was your chance and you fucked it up. Look, that wasn't my goal, okay? This wasn't my goal. This was your goal. You did all this effort for all these years, especially this year, to bring everyone on your side on BRICS and de-dollarize. And maybe use a exchange in Iran. Where's my Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Where's my commodities exchange? Working with BRICS off the SWIFT system. Where is my BRICS digital currency? Where is all that? Where? An absolute fucking disappointment. Absolutely. But look, again, I might be early. Maybe there's some 4D chess going on. Maybe they're doing things in the background. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for the A-22 anti-air missiles to arrive in those areas in the Middle East before they sink US ships or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they're preparing a big attack. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. It looks like everyone is pussying out and let the bully get what they want. But yeah, all for nothing, I guess. If they don't do anything, just to let you know, just to give you like a little taste, like a tease trailer, all this COVID shit, gun control, central bank digital currency, digital ID, all global homo, feminism, all this stuff is just gonna spurt again. All this stuff is just gonna come back. So just get ready for that. You know? Let's get ready for that. So good job. Good job, everyone. Good job. Again, not my goal. Not my goal. You said you're gonna do this and that and this and that. You're gonna do this to Israel if they do this. They are. They're in Gaza right now with tanks and ground units. And what do? Just sit on your ass. You do fucking nothing. Yeah. So that's it. There's not much more to say about this. Yeah, there's gas development happening in front of Gaza. Yeah. There's not much more to say. We beat this horse enough, I think. Anyway, so let's just go over you guys' questions here. This was the last article. Now let's just go over some questions. So, nothing will crash, blah, blah, blah. So basically we don't know what will happen. No, just sit and watch. Yeah, look, unfortunately we can't affect anything. You know, like I can't do anything. Like I know what I would do if I was like the dictator of the world or something. I had like ultimate power. If I was Omni-Man, yeah, I know exactly what I would do, but I'm not. I'm just one person, right? Like I'm suspended on TikTok, right? It's just a matter of time until I'm gone. Like, and I said this a few years ago. Like I said this last year, not a few years ago as well to my friends. But I said this on TikTok to you guys last year. I said, look, I'm moving in a gray area. I'm walking on thin ice. It's still okay to talk about economics, but it's just still okay. Europe already passed the bill. They got rid of internet online anonymity. You know, you basically have to dox yourself to speak online. And if you say something that they don't like, you know, they just gonna shut you down, right? And they know you're not gonna do anything, you know. But what are you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna file a lawsuit. Or we're gonna vote. We're gonna vote them out. Yeah, they just steal the election. And okay, we're gonna file a lawsuit. Oh, we're gonna file lawsuits and yeah, the judge is just gonna throw out your lawsuit. And now what? We're gonna protest. Okay, they just declare you insurrectionists when you protest, and they run you over with horses, and shut down your bank account and your business. And what now? I'm gonna. Yeah, you're gonna do what? Nothing. Well, you're gonna do nothing. Look, just at this point, get your ticket already for your bug pot. Get your ticket in your 15-minute city. Get your ticket now. Get your seats now. Go into the cattle car. You're not gonna do shit. So everyone is just. Look, I'm not saying you should do this or X or something. I'm just saying, one person against a bigger, stronger bully can't do anything. He's just gonna get his ass beat. Right? He needs the backup of everyone else, but there is no backup of everyone else. Right? There's none. It's just a giant, moist pussy. That's the truth. So, look, you have to care about your life. Prepare for your own life. Forget this. Forget these people. Don't join militias. Don't do any violence. Don't do this stuff. I'm not saying that. Don't do that stuff. Never ever. I'm against that. I'm an advocate to save your own life, to live the best life for yourself. Whether that means to be in a homestead, maybe far away from the cities, or where you can be self-sufficient, or maybe you move to another country that's more inclined with your values. It's more of the option that I would pick. Whatever that answer is for you, go and do that. But protesting, hoping that things will change, hope in these people, these sheep, forget it, man. Forget it. Both war sides have same sponsorship. It's a theater and puppets playing roles we watch. Yeah, exactly. It is. It's so funny. Predictions for USD. It's going to continue to go down. But I know what you're going to say. Oh, the USD went up. Compared to what? The other currency? Like, for example, you compare to the ruble, right? I saw a video on TikTok, like, oh, look, the ruble is becoming rubble. Look, and then he switches. I'm not going to say who. I don't want to start any beef with anyone here. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time. But then he switches to a graph, Look, if you compare USD to ruble, if you compare the USD to the ruble, look, you see the ruble is going down. Yes, because they sanctioned them and stole their money. Like Germany is right now stealing like $300 or $400 billion of frozen assets because they refuse, they kick them off SWIFT. They can't do business in USD. Maybe that's why, you fucking retard. Go to Russia. They're fine. They're fine. They have no inflation. They're building businesses. They're happy people. The fuck you talking about? Not you. I mean, I just see, like, I'm just so sick and tired of these people. And then there's this other guy. He's like, oh, let's exchange books, blah, blah, blah. I wrote a book too about economics, and it's so similar to what you wrote. I was like, oh, wow, nice. And then I watched a podcast, I just skipped to like 30 minutes, and then I saw him talk about his book and like, oh, capitalism is the problem,